What's an inexpensive hobby most people can get into? Record the plants and animals around you, even if it's stuff you find in your backyard or the local park, and share it online. Many sites connect with GBIF, which allows scientists to use the data in their research, and just learning more about the nature around you can be an interesting and enlightening experience. I've had some of my beewolf photos cited in a research paper, have been contacted about collecting seeds and mites for researchers specializing in those areas, and have been contacted about potentially finding a species new to science. In 2015, scientists recorded 30 new fly species from Los Angeles backyards, so even urban areas can yield interesting finds. On top of that, it can be a lot of fun to learn about the differences in things that look the same and the relationships between organisms. Most things can be taken apart with a cheap screwdriver set. Grab something of yours that broke, pull it apart and try to figure out what's wrong. Researching how to pull things apart, how they work, and what causes them to break is free. If you fix it, you've just saved yourself money from having to replace it. Worst case scenario, you can't fix it, and you're back where you started. From my experience, this is a very expensive hobby. Sure, it starts off with fixing minor things using very few tools. But once you get hooked, you want to fix more things and maybe build stuff yourself. Soon you will need way more expensive tools like drills, soldering irons up to lathes or welding machines. At that point, you can easily invest thousands exercise. You can do plenty of routines like crunches, squats, push-ups, sit-ups and jogging, and not spend a cent beyond a decent pair of shoes for jogging in. Cooking can be a pretty cheap hobby. I mean, you have to eat anyway, might as well enjoy the processes of making your own food. Drawing, reading, writing, singing, photography, even with just your smartphone, running, hiking, bird watching. The list goes on. Cooking can be a pretty cheap hobby. I mean, you have to eat anyway, might as well enjoy the processes of making your own food. I made friends with a crow a few years ago. That was really fun, and all I needed was a bag of unsalted peanuts and some time and patience. There's a free smartphone app called BirdNet that will identify birds from their calls. I know a lot more about local birds now. It's easier to spot them when you know they are around and what they look like. Adding to this, houseplants. Last year, like many others, I became very interested in houseplants. I went crazy and bought nice pots and some rare species, but a simple monstera, pothos, and calathea setup, plus succulents and air plants to taste, can be had for less than $40 if you buy from grocery stores or places like Home Depot. Pots can be had secondhand, think thrift stores, for practically nothing. Having an indoor garden helped teach me patience and persistence. There's nothing quite like having a living, slow-growing decoration to take care of. Beyond that, plants themselves are quite fascinating, and having them in your home allows you to get up close and personal with them and learn about their individual nuances. New leaf day is always an exciting one. Propagating clones is rewarding and fascinating, and learning how to care for a plant can be painstaking, but worth the effort. I thought I had nearly killed my 4-fiddle leaf fig when I moved it up to a bigger pot because it dropped nearly every leaf except for 3, maybe 10 leaves fell off. A few weeks later I saw new growth, and now it's taller and more full and vibrant than ever.